Gentlemen, you made a huge mistake. For those you change your mind. Do it out of respect for the English people, for the home of football. Some will say it is greed, others disdain, arrogance, flippancy, or complete ignorance of England's football culture.
Now, the referees' governing body, the PGMOL, have confirmed. The PGMOL say they are taking the allegations very seriously and that mental well-being is paramount. Comes after Coote was suspended on Monday by the PGMOL. And a spokesperson for PGMOL said, "We are aware of the allegations and are taking them very seriously. Remains suspended pending a full investigation. Welfare continues to be of utmost importance to us, and we're committed to providing him with the ongoing necessary support he needs through this period. We are not in a position to comment further at this stage." The UEFA Referees Committee immediately suspended till further notice in advance of the upcoming round of UEFA matches when it became aware of his inappropriate behaviour. About that as well, of course, this morning. We'll have more on that, but we were speaking last night to one of the journalists whose newspaper ran the story.
The fallout from the controversial cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City has reached a boiling point, as a referee at the centre of the storm has now issued an apology, and FIFA has reportedly taken the extraordinary step of suspending key match officials. What was meant to be a showcase of elite football has instead turned into one of the most talked about officiating scandals in recent memory, reigniting fierce debates about the reliability and integrity of VAR at the highest level. The match itself had all the ingredients of a classic. Arsenal, chasing silverware and redemption, went toe-to-toe with a dominant Manchester City side known for their tactical precision and relentless control. But as the game unfolded, it wasn't just the players who dictated the narrative. It was the decisions coming from the officials and the VAR room. A series of contentious calls, most notably a denied penalty and a disallowed goal, left Arsenal players, staff, and fans in disbelief. At the heart of the controversy was a moment that many are now calling the turning point of the match. Arsenal appeared to have a clear penalty after a challenge in the box, only for VAR to intervene and overturn the on-field decision. Replays seemed to suggest significant contact, enough to justify the initial call, but the review process concluded otherwise. The lack of transparency in how that conclusion was reached only fueled frustration. Things escalated further when Arsenal found the back of the net in what looked like a legitimate goal, only for it to be ruled out after another VAR check. The reasoning behind the decision was, once again, unclear to viewers and analysts alike. Commentators struggled to explain the logic, while former players openly criticised the inconsistency of officiating standards. Social media erupted almost instantly, with fans and pundits accusing the system of failing the very game it was designed to protect. In the aftermath, the referee involved released a statement acknowledging errors in judgment and expressing regret over the decisions that impacted the outcome of the match. While apologies from officials are rare, this one did little to calm the outrage. For many Arsenal supporters, the damage had already been done. A trophy opportunity had slipped away, and no amount of retrospective accountability could change that. FIFA's reported decision to suspend the officials involved marks a significant and unusual escalation. It signals a recognition of the severity of the situation and an attempt to restore credibility. However, it also raises serious questions about the current state of VAR implementation. If such high-profile errors can occur on one of the biggest stages, what does that say about the system as a whole? Critics have long argued that VAR, while well-intentioned, suffers from inconsistent application and a lack of clear communication. This incident has only amplified those concerns. Calls for reform are growing louder, with suggestions ranging from increased transparency, such as releasing VAR audio, to stricter guidelines on when and how reviews should be conducted. Others believe the human element of refereeing is being undermined, creating more confusion rather than clarity. For Arsenal, the sense of injustice will linger. Players were visibly frustrated at the final whistle, and post-match interviews reflected a squad struggling to come to terms with what had happened. The manager stopped short of outright condemnation but made it clear that decisions of such magnitude must be handled better. In matches of this importance, there is simply too much at stake for such errors to occur. Manchester City, meanwhile, find themselves in an awkward position. While they secured the victory, the manner in which it was achieved has somewhat overshadowed their performance. Few would argue that they are not a world-class side, but the controversy has inevitably cast a shadow over the result. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is certain: this incident will have lasting repercussions. Whether it leads to meaningful changes in how VAR is used remains to be seen, but the pressure is now firmly on football's governing bodies to act. The integrity of the game depends on it, and fans around the world will be watching closely to see what comes next.